Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping, a time when we get together, we chat, we connect, and we unlock some fun paper craft. Oh, can't even talk. Unlock some paper crafting fun together. So welcome. I'm glad you're joining us tonight. And I'm Lillian with Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And today's date, I always have to look up to check the date up to the calendar. It is March 4th, 2024. So welcome. I've got some fun things to show you, but maybe some of you caught yesterday, I just spur of the moment popped on. I was making the new Happy Houseplants kit, and so I have it now displayed right behind me here. So I don't know if you can see the four of them, and they are making me happy. I don't know what it's like in your area of the world, but March came in like a lion, and it is a little chilly here, and we've had a fair amount of snow. So those the Happy Houseplant kit makes me feel like spring and that things are alive and growing. So glad to see some of you saying hello and hopping on. Please say hi to each other, hi to me, let us know that you're here. And we're going to go down to the desktop because I have some new things that I want to show you. But in the meantime, I always throw out an engagement question, or a question that we can chat and get talking. And we got spoiled today. As some of you know, we've been going through a bit of a tough time. Last Thursday, a nephew who's very close to us passed away very suddenly, and some friends dropped off a big pot of chili and fresh buns tonight. So it tasted so good. So what are you eating for supper tonight, or what have you eaten, depending where you are in the world? Or maybe you're eating breakfast. I know some of you are watching from overseas, so let us know what you're eating for supper tonight, and maybe you'll make us hungry too. Now, what's all this? Tomorrow is a big day for online exclusives. So there are some new online exclusives being released tomorrow. And I only have a little smattering because I've been away and life has been busy, but I wanted to share with you what I do have. I'm going to move the stamp sets to the side, and right here are some, it's called adhesive backed shiny sequins. I'm just going to open them up. I don't know about you, but I really love adhesive backed sequins. They're nice and flat and so easy to use. So here they are here, like that, and they go with this paper here. They go with tons of other projects too. So just wanted to share that. Now these they're still waiting for a new shipment to come in, but they'll be here shortly. Bonnie, chicken noodle soup and grilled cheese. Oh, I love that meal. Soup and grilled cheese just doesn't get any better, does it? Okay, so this is one of the things that's going to be released tomorrow and will be available shortly. This paper here, I don't know about you, this is all featuring zinnias. So zinnias are a flower that I have to admit I never thought too much about. It's never really caught my eye, but this paper just feels so much like spring. And we're all ready for spring in our part of the world. So I'm just going to share it with you. So these are bright, vibrant colors. I'll show you the coordinating colors afterwards. Then on the back, a little bit more generic. I actually just opened this package. Then there's this paper here. So of course you can cut it down the middle and just cut panels and make 6 card fronts, easy peasy, or you can make them 3 inches and make even more than 6. Somebody said Joey's only. Ooh, that sounds good. My mom, as you know, we were out visiting her last week. That's why I didn't go live. And she lives where I grew up, which is White Rock. And so it's right by the Pacific Ocean. We always go for fish and chips when we're at home. They're delicious. Then there's this. They're little tiny zinnias. And then this design here. And then this one is just so rich looking. It's a berry burst, but it's the zinnias in a darker shade, so it's tone on tone. And it's beautiful, and there we have that. So just gets you in the mood for spring. Then there's this, it looks like a jungle. Do you know what this I always think of every time I look at this sheet? Jack and the Beanstalk. I know that it's used for all kinds of things, but I always think of Jack and the Beanstalk here. And St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so this might come in handy for that too. Then there's this, and if you get the zinnia dies, you can cut out some of these, I believe. So there's that. And then for you purple lovers, look at that. Just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. So the coordinating colors are, and remember they're always found on the back, and then they're found right here, but they're in small type, so I always put them in big so that I can see at a glance. So all of these colors are found in these papers, so you can see that you would have almost any color. It would go with a lot, so you could make a lot of different things. And then coordinating with this, but not necessarily limited to this, is the glimmer paper. Let me just put that down. So we have Berry Burst, Old Olive, and white glimmer paper. So these, again, are just gorgeous. And of course, white, you can change that color up by just sponging on top or something like that and add color. You can spritz it. So you can add whatever color you want to white, which is always nice, 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 nice. And our glimmer paper, it's actually somewhat smooth and it doesn't flake, so it's really easy to work with or to die cut. So those are some of the papers and sequins that I got. And then I picked up a couple of stamp sets. And one is this one, Comforting Thoughts. These words are so, so good. I don't have all the right words to say. Have you ever felt like that? I've often felt like that. And there it is right there. But I do have lots of love to give, or there is no good card for this. So you can do fronts and insides of your cards and just let people be comforted. Let them know that you're thinking of them. So this I'm going to be using a lot, I can see. And then another stamp set that I just kind of fell in love with. So Marie is asking how everyone's doing. So you'll have to tell her how you're handling the weather where you are. My husband said with the wind today, he just hasn't felt it that cold in a long time. And we've had some cold weather in January. So this stamp set here is one of the great big ones. So I haven't put the labels on or anything yet. So it is like this. Put it right side up. So that's what it's going to look like. It's all one stamp set, but I can see this making gorgeous, gorgeous backgrounds and that kind of thing. So those are two that I got, and I got one more. And I fell in love with this Sweetly Scripted. I love the script. I like that it's kind of scrolly going across the page like that. And I love the sentiments. So there's Happy Anniversary, which I really was lacking that. So I needed that. Baked apple. Oh, wow. That sounds yummy. Congratulations. Happy birthday. A million thanks. Speedy recovery. Save the date. And now you might say, well, what if I don't have a card that long? Remember, you can always shorten these up too, right? So don't feel like you're limited to that. So we're going to use this stamp set tonight. So that's the Sweetly Scripted. But some of you are saying, where do I find the online exclusive? So let's just pause for a moment and talk about that. If you go to my website, lillian.stampinup.net, and I've got it here. I just have to bring it up, log in, and I'm just going to show you, and you'll get something like this, depending what device you're on. You're going to look for these three lines. Now, on my computer, they're over here. I forgot to look where they are on my phone. But what you're going to look for is those three lines. Press on those three lines, and you get a menu that drops down. So if we're looking for online exclusives, one way is we can go to Shop Now, and it's going to take a minute, and lo and behold, we have 3 lines again. So let's click on that, and now we see different categories. They're in words or in pictures, and right here, let me go to the side, is online exclusives. So if we click on that, now they won't have these newest ones on there, but they do have this. Whoops, I better. There's the one I made last night, and I've got this one ordered. It's really neat. So there's where you will see your online exclusives. And if you're not too sure about it, maybe I want it, maybe I don't, then click on the picture and you get more details, and you get a description and that kind of thing. So just explore it. You also get a sample. So that's how you find the online exclusives. And Joan, wow, that's a huge change in temperature. You just don't know how to dress this time of year, do you? It's amazing. Anyway, so if you do shop with me online and your order is less than $200, I'd love if you used this hostess code. It just makes things really nice and easy for all of us. So enough talking. Let's bring in our kit. So we've got our envelope of goodies here, and we're going to start with 4 1/4 by 11 scored in half. And I've already scored it, so we're just going to fold it, bring in our bone folder, and burnish that fold. So there's our card base. Now, what I could do is right off the bat, I could stamp right on there, right? Let's see. What should we make tonight? Let's make happy birthday. I'm needing a bunch of birthday cards. Happy birthday. There we go. And I'm going to use my paper here, my glass mat to get it straight. I just love my glass mat. There we go. So we could stamp right on here and make a 1-layer card, but we're going to step it up a little bit, and we are going to bring in this and then a layer underneath, just like that. So I'm going to actually do my stamping in black ink, and I could go straight across, or I could go, that way. So I could go this way as well. See, I don't need to worry about those ends. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun to kind of angle it? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in my black ink. And I'm just going to do it at a random angle. There we go. Just like that. There, we've got it like that. Now, I should have mentioned, when you have a long, skinny stamp and you're stamping, I like to run my fingers along where the stamp is, because that's where you want the pressure, right? Where the stamp is. If I put the pressure on the edges, I might not get a good impression there. So just kind of make a firm pressure. Don't press it out to smithereens, but you can do it like that. And then we could put it on here. We could add a stamp here, and we could put it on here, and it would be a very pretty card. But I thought, what if? Now, here's my inspiration. This was the first card I made this way. So I stamped the happy birthday like this, and I used the, whoops, the wrong stamp set. The Lovely and Sweet stamp set. I stamped it and die cut it out. I colored it, put a vellum circle behind it, and then I thought, well, I would like to add texture. So after stamping this, I ran it through with an embossing folder, and then I wanted some pink to go as for embellishments, and I couldn't find any, so I brought in my blends and colored my flat pearls, and that's how that turned out. So then I thought, well, I wonder, me and my, well, I wonder. So I wondered if this gorgeous, gorgeous layered florals 3D would be too much. So let's just give it a whirl and see how it works. So I'll move that out of the way and bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This embossing folder is likely one of the prettiest ones we've had for a long, long while. And I'm not always a floral embossing folder person, but I have fallen in love with this one. How many of you have this embossing folder? It's a big hit. Anyway, so because it's 3D, we're going to put plate number 1. And then once we do the embossing folder, we'll put plate number 4. It's the specialty plate. We'll put that on top. So let's bring in our embossing folder. And we really don't have to worry about it being straight because it's a really random pattern. But what I'm going to try to do is put the happy birthday where it's not, I don't have the big flowers. I don't know if that matters or not, but I'm going to give that a whirl. See how that goes. Then you put the fold in first and then plate 4 and run it through. Move that out of the way now. And when you open it up, look at that. So it works even with this really detailed and deep embossing folder. At least in my mind it works. So why have I got thick basic white here? When I'm doing white on such a detailed and deep embossing folder, I like to use thick. That's just a personal preference. And so I have to write myself notes so that I remember the next time I do it. How many of you are like that? Oh, I meant to leave that out for one more thing. So while we've got it out, got so busy talking, we're going to bring in the envelope and we're going to do the flap as well. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get it here. I am going to take the edge of the embossing folder and line it up with the edge of the envelope flap and close it up. And then again, put the fold in first and run it through. Marilyn, you love that result? Yeah, it's just a different look. It looks really good plain, but it's kind of fun to do that little bit of extra sometimes, isn't it? And so now we have a matching envelope as well. And beforehand, just to save a bit of time, I did one more little piece, and you'll see why in a minute. So now what we can do is we can build the basic part of our card. So we can put this on here and put it on here. I'm going to just glue this down, and this side would have looked lovely too. And I actually kind of had meant to do that this time so that you could see the difference, but I forgot. So you'll have to try that on your own. Anyway, I like liquid glue when it's this deep because it soaks in or goes in the grooves a little bit. And this one is a narrow border. So the white is 3 3/4 by 5. And then the purple, the Highland Heather, is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And when I'm wanting to press hard, I like to flip it over and do it that way. Yes, I'm seeing lots of love for that embossing folder. It is a good one. I hope it hangs around for a while. So now I'm going to put it on dimensionals. Again, you don't have to, but it just adds a little bit more. And some of you would say don't want to because you're mailing it. I don't think this would add to the mailing, but you could always leave these dimensionals out. I just happen to love dimensionals. So let's bring my little dish in so we can put our backings right in there and not all over the floor. this little dish has been a lifesaver for me, or life changer, I guess I should say, for me. There we go. Now we're going to put it on here. And we'll center it the best we can. I'm not going to push it down till I have a good look. There, looking good. There we go. So now it's still looking a little, it needs a little something, right? And on this one here, I use this flower here. But I wanted to try something because these flowers are so pretty. I wanted to see if I could do something with these flowers. So let me show you what I did. I'm a neat stamper. Oh, you wouldn't say that, Joan, if you could see my room. But I'm keeping this area neat at least. So what I did is I ran a scrap piece through like this, and I added color to that. And I could have cut it out, but I'm not very good at fussy cutting, so I just punched it out with a circle punch. So let me show you how I did that. So here it is here. I just used a couple of blending brushes, and better move these out of the way. I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight for the very center. Some fresh freesia, and some Highland Heather. My Highland Heather label got faded, so I had to add it back in again. Write the name in. Here's a scrap piece of paper. I just want to tap the excess off. I'm going to start with the yellow, and I don't want to press hard. So let's take a little bit of the excess off. I can always add more. I'm just going to gently rub here. So I'm holding here. If I was holding here, I'd be tempted likely to press too hard. And I'm just have, I don't know if you can see, a little bit of yellow there, and that's good for me. Then I'm going to start with the lighter of the two purples, the fresh freesia. And now these are the mini blending brushes, by the way, which I happen to just love. And I'm just, again, letting it catch the raised edges of the flower. So that's why I'm being so light, and I can always move the flower, right? Turn it around. Sometimes we think we have to keep it in one spot, but no, they move. It's all good, and they move so easily on this mat. There we go. We've got some fresh freesia there. That looks pretty, right, like that. And I'm going to clean that off a bit and move to the darker color now. And add just a bit of Highland Heather here and there. Again, barely touching down, just to add a little more dimension. And just like that, look at how pretty that is. Now I could add more, but I like the softness of this. So let me close up my ink pads. Like that, and I'm going to punch that out. Before I punch it out, some of you might be saying, well, could you color the flowers? So this is what I was experimenting with before we went live. So if you just barely touch down, again, you can catch those raised edges beautifully. So I'm doing this in Bubble Bath, which is one of my favorite pinks these days. Don't know why. I think the big key is a light touch, and you can do that. So you could easily, if you enjoy coloring, you could do a big one, or you could just highlight a few. So you could color with your markers too, I think, or your pencil crayons, or pastels would look really neat. So you could add color however you want. And of course, we've talked before, you can actually put your ink pad and run it over your embossing folder and do it that way too. But we did that a while ago, so you know how to do that. So let's that was just a little side trip. You know me, I take a few side trips here and there. All right, so now we've got this. We're going to punch it out. Now it's pretty tiny, so I've got some Post-it notes. Oh, right here. Here's where they are. And we're going to hang on to that. Where's the sticky? There we go. And I'm using the 2-inch circle punch, as you can see. There. And it's going to get a few of the edges of the leaves, but it's going to look just fine. So there we go, like that. So now we could put this on here with dimensionals and just be done with it. But I thought, oh, it needed a little bit something else. And I was interested in putting some of the black gingham ribbon there, but I was right out. But I don't know about you, I keep scraps of ribbon in a clear jar. So like this, I just got it at one of the dollar stores, and I dug in there and I found this. So it's going to be just enough to tuck, I think, a little bit behind, and it picks up the black here, and to me, it makes everything pop. So what color ribbon, here's a question, what color ribbon would you put behind here? I'm always curious because you guys have such good ideas. So what color ribbon would you put behind? Which one of our ribbons? I didn't have a purple, or I might have gone that way. I could have colored one of our ribbons and made a purple, I guess. But oh, Karen's saying the black works perfectly. Well, that's a comfort. Thank you, Karen. All right, so let's see if I'm going to, I don't want too much of it. I just want it to be a hint. Go like that. It's stuck to my finger. There we go. I'm going to put that on dimensionals as well. And I'm going to be somewhat generous with my dimensionals. But you can see how easy this card is. But that scripty writing and the embossing folder, they just really add, like this would be a beautiful sympathy card, a softer ribbon perhaps, and maybe softer ink. But there we go, like that. And then just to finish it off, we need to have some embellishments, right? And these are the fine purple shimmer gems. Now they've been on out of stock, but they should be coming in very soon. In fact, let me just show you a little list. I compiled a little bit of a list. So the where are they? Fine purple shimmer gems are expected back in stock the week of March 11th. So that's a week from today. Now, when they say the week of, it doesn't necessarily mean the Monday, but often it is. So Monday or Tuesday. So some of these that we've been waiting for, and the punches always take longer because they're too expensive to send by plane. So they're still coming, but the Modern Oval I see is back in stock. So it's all good. So these, we have a variety of colors here, and we also have variety of shades within the colors. I like this here, and I'm going to go, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to put one maybe right there, and right there, just like that. And oh, I know what I forgot to do here. I will show you what I did on the other one. So now we have this gorgeous card that I would be happy to send to anyone with the coordinating envelope. And if I had remembered to look inside my original, before I made my card, I put it through and caught just the edge in the embossing folder so that you could decorate it that way too on the inside. So there are those two, like that. Here was my original, like that. There we go. So just a really pretty card, just to sort of get your excitement percolating about the new online exclusives. So there you go there. And I have a little bit of show and tell. So this was a quick card. Let me just show you a little bit of show and tell. And look what it's using. I've been really hooked on the mini alphabet, and she used the mini alphabet just like that. So here's what it looks like sideways. And then when you pull this up, it goes flat for mailing. So that's from my friend Joanne. And yes, I'm hooked on the mini alphabet. And here's another one like that. And just makes me happy to see that. Then I received this card in a swap, and I have to admit I hadn't looked at the dies here, and I looked, how did she do that? Well, there are dies that make those little blocks. And how many of you remember playing with blocks like that when you were a kid, or seeing your kids or your grandkids playing with blocks like that? So this, who did I get this from? Jessica Barber. So there we go. That's from her. And then for my birthday, I received this in the mail, and it was like a really thick envelope. And I thought, what is that? And look at this card. Are you prepared to be wowed? So this is holding the card closed. Let me just show you here. And then you open it up like this, like that. And then this is our other alphabet, the alphabet a la mode. And then you fold it down like that. And then you fold it open. And then you fold it down. And then you fold it open. And then you fold it down. Let me just see here. And then you fold it open, and then you fold it down. And I meant to put a sticky note over that, and like that. So isn't this the neatest card? I was so impressed that she made an envelope to fit it too. Now this could be a scrapbooking project as well. So I do know how to make this, and I think one of the reasons, this is from Karen, who's on here tonight. One of the reasons Karen made this for me is we had seen a sample, but not finished. We'd just seen the sample of the pieces going together, and we had been oohing and awing about it together. And then she came up with the template and shared it with me. And then I said, well, now I'd have to think of what to put in it. So she did that. So just a really neat card. I just might have to share it with you one of these days as how to make it, but I haven't had time to do that just yet. So let me know if you would like to know how to make this fold. It would be a little more involved, but it's not as bad as you think it is once you get the hang of it. So that's my show and tell tonight. These are my cards. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, if you have questions, please ask. Oh, I forgot a couple of other things. And if you would like to know more about these products, please I'm ready to help you out too. Just a couple of things. I am so enjoying all the kits that Stampin' Up! Is offering, and they bring out 2 every month. So if you would like to order a kit, and then from me, and then we can all gather together and make our kits, and some will make one kind of kit and some another. So if you could get your kits ordered through me by, where is the date here? By March the 11th, that's next Monday, then I would have time to get them ordered. And then we can kit together in April. The other thing is, if you have a paper pumpkin subscription from me, you can bring your paper pumpkin kit. So we could all be working on something different. That's just so much fun. The other thing that I have going on is Stamping Time. It's a club. We meet once a month. I shouldn't say a club, because you can drop in. You don't have to come every month. Everybody's welcome to come whenever it works for them, but you need to register for that too. So that's where you go to register for Stampin' Time for March, and this is where you go to register for the kit together. And I will try to post those as well so that you have those links. So there you go. So there was my little postscript. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Stay warm, stay safe, and have fun out there. Bye-bye.